I'm going to hand this over to Andrew Walker and Mike Harris to lead us off into round 8. Again, this is going to be Josh Burgoa and Michael Coyle going on. So now let's get this done.
That's got so much noise. Everybody out there ready for the last match before we get to the top 8? I don't think either player's been on stream today. Just checking which one it is. You want the names together?
Let's do this.
Don't mind me and Mike gave me some jerky, so we both are chomping away at the bit.
Yes, gotta get that
Get the
food
protein.
up in you. Get some protein. Protein is very crucial on a game day.
Does that mean you didn't have protein this morning? Not enough protein.
I went to that Pepita coffee house. They have a sweet breakfast croissant, which is banana peppers, eggs, and cheese on a croissant. It's incredible. I was going to get the breakfast burrito, but I was running late already. Needed to get the faster thing. All right, so what we have. Josh Burgoa and Michael Coyle. All right, Josh leads off on a forest. Coyle puts out an island. Cracks wooden foothills.
Okay, so we got Oath finally on board. Not on board, meaning first time we caught him on camera.
Ooh. Sphere. Very good against blue. And it looks from the hand like he's on Dreadnought. Spots opt. Probably looking for a daze. You hear Xanadude?
That's who. Okay.
That's Xanadude. We hear a Boston accent coming through the walls.
I'm gonna park your car, Anson. No, don't do that. No. Oh, it took double days to get rid of the sphere. Duress comment.
Is there a way to move the chat to that side of the screen? Perfect. Now I can read it. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Stifle Knot today. A lot of mono blue, blue white, and now blue
Yep.
black. So it is definitely still a force.
I'm assuming the deck has a non-zero number of togs. Or would
Probably is playing the Togs, yep. Alright, Thermo Cars. Oh, wait. He can't Thermo Cars with that mana.
he tapped wrong, right?
Yeah. Oh, and he corrects it. Or just untaps.
Just, yeah.
And Winter's
Oh,
Grasp.
popped. Terravor's what, a known card in hand, right?
Yeah, no card.
2 days are gone, might as well try.
Put out the Terravor, and we have a lot of lands in the opponent's yard. I believe I see 1, 2, 3. And he must have 2 in his, so we put a 5 counter. There we go. Thank you, players. All right, go for the Dreadnought. All that land destruction, but he's back to the 2 islands that he wants. Terravor, smaller than Dreadnought right now, but maybe not for long. He could even waste his own factory to pump it up.
It would still get run over at this point, though. See, Michael's running the old school Crown Royal bag.
Yep.
Nice, nice.
Let's put counters and dice in.
Oh. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Play second, sack your land. Now you have 2 7/7s. Second Terror. Yep.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
And he's got the Wasteland as backup.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a right play not to sack while blue was tapped out? Because now he could stifle.
Stifle the Wasteland.
Yeah.
I mean, he still gets +1/+1.
Yeah. But then he loses both Terravors. 2/6/6 blocking at 12.
Yeah. Yeah, Boomerang would be very good for Michael right now.
Probably can hear in the background, but we have a loud boss tonight on his soapbox. Sorry, Bostonian.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, third Terravore. Countered. This is the turn. Oh, that pumps them up.
Now he's starting to think that was that the right move?
Yeah, hopefully he has removed. Oh, no, it doesn't even get the swamp.
He only has one swamp?
Oh, the swamp is gone. Oh, yeah, it got Winter's Grasp or Thermokarst or something. Interesting he's not playing the snow-covered lands. Sometimes you need to gain one.
I can imagine Josh is worried that he's already 3 Terravores in a Dreadnought. A second Dreadnought would be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. Why you would fetch there to give his team +1/+1. Yes, indeed. Maker Mav. Lots of Stifle Knot out there.
Oh, yeah.
So now the Terravores are 7/7s.
Yes. Seven sevens. Both at 18. It's a Mexican standoff.
Impulse.
We do know that there was at least one Landstill Dex and at least 3 Stasis for the viewers. But
Yes,
yeah, we didn't
indeed.
catch any
The
of them.
Esper Control was against me round 3, and we drew that one. Richey was round 1 feature match. But I believe, let me check the standings real quick. I think he hasn't had a great day.
No, I think he was 3-3 after 6.
Yeah. To the surprise of many.
Yeah, it looked like, I'm assuming people sided pretty heavily against that deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember like going into it, everybody was kind of like, so Replenish is going to be the breakout this tournament, but it really hasn't been.
Oh yeah, we know Rich is here.
All right, Psychotog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shrink up those Terravores.
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually they shrink to 2 2s. Yep.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's doing that now. Why not put it out, see if he blocks and doesn't register it? Yeah, even so, wait a turn with the Psychotog. Oh, well, he just concedes. Yes, indeed. That Psychotog proving that in this situation, it is a multi-tool.
Yep. It's a withered wretch with teeth.
We don't know their deck lists, right?
Nope.
So the Oath definitely brings in all the artifact destruction. Takes out the Pyroclasm Earthquake. Looks like he's taking out the Oaths too. Makes sense. Trying to find a stock list of each to see what I think they're bringing in, taking out. I mean, I would assume Michael has Sabo's Web in his board. Everybody best be packing the Sabo's Webs.
Oh, yeah. I made sure I had 4 signed ones. For other events.
Web and probably a null for the spheres.
Yeah. Spheres are definitely a problem for a lot of decks.
Yeah, for Stifle Not especially.
Yep.
Turning their combo from a 2 mana to
You want to make a run for your own slice?
I was just about to say that. I'm going to run grab some pizza. You want me to pick you up some too?
Yeah. If they have that fig thing.
Do you have a preference on what kind?
Anything that's got stuff on it, not just cheese.
Yep.
My kids eat cheese. I'll eat everything else.
Good way to look at it.
I'll steal that.
Yep.
All right, guys, I'm briefly back. Pizza has arrived on site. People are eating. Heading into game 2 here. This red-green Oath matchup versus blue-black Stifle Knot with Michael on top. You will forgive me if I'm a munching on some pizza. This is the first food I've had all day, so please forgive me.
Since what, Duncan this morning?
Yeah, pretty much. We are in round number 8, last round of Swiss.
For those of you not used to the Boston area and its allegiance to Dunkin' Donuts, I know, like, Will's not from the area, and I went to college here, so I got to see a lot of stuff. It is so... The way you can tell how dominant Dunkin' Donuts is in this region, there's like pseudo highways, like 4 lane, but with a divider, so you can't make turns around it until you get to a light. I've seen at least one location where there was catty corner Dunkin' Donuts, so you didn't have to cross the road.
Johnny, how Dreadnought 1 is essentially Michael resolved a Psychotog, which 8 lands from the yard, which meant his Terror Warriors could not block the Dreadnought efficiently.
Yeah. They went from 7/7s to bears.
Samurai, to answer your question, I didn't eat a lobster roll because I'm just not a huge seafood lobster guy. That's just the honest answer.
I ate it, but that was literally the only time I eat lobster all year.
All right, so turn 2, Sylvan coming down here for Josh, it looks like. It is a very gorgeous library. I've had Lobster Maker. I'm just not a huge fan of lobster. I'm just not a huge fan of it, and that's fine.
For those of you that know or don't know, my work is marine bio, and one time I brought up an 8-pound lobster claw.
Sounds awesome.
It was freaking crazy. I'm like, how old was that bastard? They gave up the 8-pound claw.
Ooh, there's a Sabos web out of Blue Black Knot. That's going to be a rough day. Food is good. Food is good.
What's this spicy concoction? Oh, pork.
Yeah. But no, there was plenty of great lobster passed around. People enjoyed it. Pizza's got here. It's been a great atmosphere, guys. We're sitting at 240 people watching right now, up to 971 followers, just so you know there, Andrew. You're almost at 1,000. So,
We started the day at like 8:30.
we started low, but no, it's been amazing. People have been very generous today with their subscriptions, so thank you guys. That helps these streams continue on. But yeah, no, it's been a great day. It's been a long day. Top 8 incoming. Plenty of Premodern tomorrow. Nothing to complain about. All right, so the Sabos web came down. Looks like we're going to portent here from Michael on Stifle Knot. Ooh, sorry, I'm getting a little bit of the hiccups here. So so here's what's going on tomorrow. The European Championships in the Czech Republic starts at like 4 a.m. Eastern. So you're going to have a whole day of a similar number. If they're not at 8 rounds, they're definitely at 7, with a cut to top 8. Additionally, tomorrow, the side event for LOBSTERCON is being streamed. So if you're wanting to watch more spicy decks, the Duress Crew, if somebody can find the link or put it out there, the Duress Crew is streaming that tomorrow for some spicy decks. Additionally, if you're a fan of Old School will be being streamed tomorrow right here on this channel. So you have a plethora of Magic that you can watch tomorrow. So I ain't got nothing else. That's just how that's going to be.
It's gonna be a long, fun weekend.
Mm-hmm. All right. Of watchable Magic. Yes, watchable Magic, indeed. Looks like a Call of the Herd coming down here for Josh. Call of the Herd, one of those cards that, is getting the appreciation it deserves, in my opinion. I mean, it's getting to the point where we saw red decks with slide decks with Call of the Herd in the sideboard. So that's where we're at right now. I mean, agreed that sphere is really important. And I'm not 100% sure, if it's right where he needs to be trying to jam that sphere in there when openings are open, but that man is open, so I don't know if he's getting it in there.
Oh.
All right, we're switching off back and forth. Mike Harris is going to go ahead and jump on here.
Had to get some food in. All right. Yeah, so we have a game for yeah, that web is just so brutal against Red Green Oath. Oh, and he pulls up a Dreadnought Vision Charmed. I believe Mercadian Masks. Oh, he said sphere keeping ports down. I thought you meant sphere of resistance. You're right. Web keeping ports down would be as old as invasion. I'm pretty sure web was printed just for port because they were in standard together. I don't think there were any man lands because Urza block had rotated and factory was definitely not in standard then. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely showcasing why Sabo's Web is basically the only sideboard card you need against Red Green Oath. I mean, obviously there are plenty more good sideboard cards against it, but man, is Web just shutting them down. Because they basically just have the 4 basics and not much else that they can untap. All right, that's it. A Dreadnought takedown.
Dreadnought taking it down. 2-0 win for Michael Coyle. I believe that will get, I would assume that gets him into the top 8.
Yes, that will definitely get him into the top 8.
All right, guys. So with that being said, there's food here for those of us who have not had a chance to eat. So people are going to eat. People are going to wander. Swords is legal in Premodern. To answer chat, guys. Our next time back, you're going to see us back here for the top 8. I am William Hurst. Andrew Walker's here. Mike Harrison. Other guests. We'll get a chance to see them. We'll see you when the top 8 comes. Take care, everybody.
All right.
So he's been kind of publicly mulling over what he would play. So, Tom, do you know what he's playing?
I don't. He wouldn't say. I asked him a bunch of times. He just wouldn't say. Like, he just kept dodging the question. So I was like, I'm not telling anyone. Like, I'm not even going. So that's interesting. But I think I have a guess.
Yeah.
And
So
what do you think, man?
I think he will go with Groatog. That is his kind of like baby deck. I know he's been kind of down on it, but he's been trying a lot of things. But we'll see. I mean, he's obviously done a lot of work with Replenish as well, and so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Gat because I just felt like he was gonna pivot back to it. And then, do you know Mark Flore what he might be on?
No, I'm not sure. So I'm pretty curious. We shall see pretty shortly. And Lanny was also I think he got top 4 last year at LOBSTERCON playing Parfait.
Yes.
So he's back again. Hopefully, gonna take down the entire thing. And you know what's great is that we get to see the Mike Flores decade sleeves on stream once again. This is the 3rd time so far today that those sleeves have been on stream.
Yeah, I gotta get my hands on those.
Yeah,
I already reached out to the source. I was like, whatever I gotta pay, it's going to charity. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, honestly, we should tell Sonny who put these together to put up a set of those for the LOBSTERCON charity. I think that would be one of the hot ticket items.
Absolutely. Just look at that face, so stoic.
When those sleeves were revealed, I said in the New York City Premodern Discord that I was going to build a morph deck just so I could have as many of those sleeves face down on the table as possible.
Or if you're playing, new Magic, you could do what's the new thing face down?
There's like so many variants.
Yeah, there's like 6 now. Yeah, some have Ward.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Lanny looks like he's on Gat.
that looks like Gat to me.
That is hilarious.
All right, what do we see? We see a lot of islands, of portents on the left side. So is this going to be mono blue Stifle Knot maybe? A lot of islands.
Oh, yeah, I see foil gush.
So I think Lanny has said that he feels pretty good about this matchup in general. Like, obviously, he played Gat, I believe, against Dreadnought in the last PSS and did not win. But James had like some crazy hands of like double, triple protection. So we can see that Lanny already has a Swords to Plowshares in hand, which will be very useful if this is indeed mono blue Dreadnought.
Yes. And Gat's still like a decent deck. I just know like Lanny felt horrible with just goblins and burn. But every deck's gonna have like its weaknesses. I mean, just play what you're comfortable with. And it's LOBSTERCON too. Like I honestly was probably gonna I might have brought Tyler's Tribe. So talk about fun.
I mean, that's a deck that's very scary too. I mean, just a lot of people don't know how to play around it.
Yeah.
And so it can just come out of nowhere. So I can definitely see that being a reasonable choice for like a big event.
Yeah, and you had a sweet one you were gonna bring.
Yeah, I was gonna bring my own build of Pit Rack Splashing Green. Okay, so we see another Portent. So in general, both players are just kind of like cantripping with the best cantrip that Premodern has to offer right now. Just Portents, and they're just kind of crafting their hands and feeling each other out a little bit. I think Lanny's probably trying to dig for, well, he got his lands, so he's building up his lands, and I think he'll play the Meddling Mage once he's a little bit more confident in what he's playing against. If not, he already knows that it's against Dreadnought, but if you just see islands and Portent, it could be a lot of different things.
So yeah, let's see if he'll deploy it now or he might wait a little bit longer. Because he can play the diamond.
Yeah, I mean, if he does it now, he goes around Daze, he goes around Counterspell. So if that sticks, that's going to be a pretty troublesome Meddling Mage. Okay, so he's jamming it. And there is a Daze. So did he have a max? I don't think he did. He just has 2 unglued basics.
Oh, there is no diamond? I thought there was. No, yeah, you're right. He does not have Mox Diamond. That's my fault.
I think he's kicking. Oh, there's Mox
there
Diamond.
it is.
I think he's kicking himself a little bit. I feel like he was trying to play around Counterspell and then fall into the Daze, but sometimes that happens. But I think he still has Counterspell backup and Swords, so he's probably feeling okay. He still has no clock though, right? And so Meddling Mage is kind of one of the best things to do there. So I think is that a Boomerang and a Dreadnought in Mark's hand?
I believe so.
Oh, there's the AK. So he's been telling us about this AK version. I wonder if he's playing Call of the Herds main too.
I think so. AK, it's still underplayed. I mean, not every deck can not every blue deck wants AK, but I think just Tog decks do.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely refills your hand, and instant speed is kind of where you want to be at for a lot of these GAT decks. So, oh, he has another Meddling Mage, so now he's probably going to find the right opportunity to play it with probably Counterspell backup. But maybe he's thinking he needs one more island to play around Daze.
Yeah, which isn't the worst thing, but I might just do it here, thinking, all right, he already used one. It's just you got to get something on board.
Yeah, but he's also in a decent spot. He has like 2 Counterspells and a Sword, so he might just be okay waiting one extra turn.
It's another Portent, right? So you can maybe just do that first, see what's going on.
See a Gush, an Islands, and a Mystery card. He's keeping on top. He probably likes the Gush.
Yeah.
Everyone's remembering their Portent triggers. That's good. I think we saw in earlier matches, when people are playing quickly and on stream and lots of pressure. It's easy to forget Portent and Urza's Bauble triggers since they're delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lanny has like a lot of land now, so I feel like he's gonna make his move pretty soon.
Yep, here it comes. So now you mage. All right.
Because now he has double. Well, I guess he can only cast one counter spell, but he also has Gush in hand. So let's see what Mark is thinking. I haven't gotten a great look at his hand. I just know that there's a Dreadnought, and I thought I saw a Boomerang. Boomerang, of course, is like one of the one outs that Mono Blue Stifle Knot has game one against the Meddling Mage. So we'll see if that is indeed a Boomerang. Yeah, I don't know if Lanny has some sort of altered Meddling Mage or what's going on with the artwork there, but
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I just noticed
it,
that.
okay, so here's a hard
Hard
cast
cast
foil. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a Gush. Draws a Gush and a Stifle. Okay, Lanny is setting up the proper stack.
There we go.
Okay, so the Meddling Mage will probably resolve, and it's 99% going to name Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Yes.
Mark can, if that is a Boomerang, let's see, Stifle, Gush, Vision Charm. I feel like the last card's Boomerang, but we'll see. If he does have that, that'll get rid of the Meddling Mage, but he doesn't have enough mana to do that and do the combo in the same turn. So he might have to take a hit or two.
Mm-hmm.
I think that slips as 12-12.
Yeah, 12-12, yep.
Okay, so I feel like Mark has to kind of wait a little bit and set up for a big turn because he needs a lot of mana to do it. Because I think it's a Boomerang, so he ends up doing boomerangs and then does the combo. But I think he has a Stifle and a Vision Charm. So if he wants to rush it, I guess he could do it at the end of Lanny's turn.
Are they 4-0? I think they've been putting the undefeated matches on, but let me find out. Will, are they 4-0 also? Or are they 3-1? Actually, no, they might be 3-1. No, wait a second. Lanny had a draw. I know that. Lanny might be 3-0-1.
Oh, main deck Phyrexian Furnace. That's interesting. This won't really impact Lanny at all. I mean, Grotog obviously has the Psychotog component in it, but this game will not really be determined by a Psychotog, is my guess.
Okay, so it might be. So I know Lanny's 3-0-1, and then Mark is possibly 3-1 from where they're at table. What do you say, 11?
Yeah, so Chad is pointing out that Furnace will, of course, impact Lanny's AKs, and if he is playing Call the Herd, that will also be a factor as well.
Yes.
But Lanny is kind of like going full speed at this point. I mean, he has plenty of land, he has all of his colors. I feel like this is definitely going to be difficult for the Stifle Knot player to remove the Meddling Mage and combo off and protect, because Lanny has at least one swords and I think a counter spell too. So I'm kind of feeling like this game will probably end pretty soon, but you can never count Stifle Knot out, so we'll see.
Yeah, can we confirm he has the boomerang in hand?
I've been trying to confirm that for
Right?
like 10 minutes now. I see is that a peak?
Oh no! Oh, you're right. I think you are right. Yeah, it's peak for sure on top of his hand, and then I think that is a boomerang next to the dreadnought.
Yeah,
Looks
the
like
Mirage.
the Mirage one. Yeah. But AK looking amazing here. Again, getting Lenny so far ahead. So I guess he Gush now.
So people are asking Chet how Lanny can fit all of his nonsense like AK and Call of the Herds and stuff like that. What if he was just playing 80 cards? Wouldn't that be amazing? But I think
What?
Lanny for a while now has been cutting out, like, obviously I don't think he plays any red cards anymore. So like back in the day, Fire and Ice was pretty common. And so
He
he's
cuts.
not playing those.
He cuts swords, right?
He has some number. He kind of fluctuates with the
Oh, maybe
number.
2 and 2. Oh, there's 2 in his hand.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, and he also doesn't. He oscillates between days too. Like sometimes he's like very anti-days, and sometimes he's for it. But if you've been playing Premodern for a while, AK is kind of funny because back when I started in like 2018, AK was like, people were down on it because they're like, oh, it's so clunky. You must play Intuition to do it, and then you're spending 5 mana to draw 3 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think people are slowly starting to come around to it. Like, you know, the meta will shift and so forth. But people kind of value that you can just kind of play it as an instant, and that like is pretty helpful. And so, you know, it's people change their opinions.
Yeah, I caught some heat for it when I was like putting it in blue black tog, but maybe just because people don't think the deck's that good.
What's it on the Tom tier? Is it A tier or B?
Bias tier S.
Oh yeah.
Realistic C.
Oh man.
Yeah, but yeah, just trying to think. So the peak was actually nice, right? Because now he has like a full
Yeah.
understanding of what he needs to do.
I mean, he's got a decent amount. He has a counterspell, vision charm, stifle. He just doesn't have the mana to do all of it.
Yeah,
And or the time, really.
that's it.
I mean, yeah. So Lanny is floating the 2 blue instead of hardcast Gush.
I still don't know if
Maybe
they're going to
he,
be able to honestly come back from the 2 swords counter and clock. Like, I just don't know if it's going to be realistic, right? Because if you're going to like attempt to boomerang, start vision, use vision charm to phase out your dreadnought. Like, you're not going to have time. Like, you can't block. Like, just you don't have the time.
yeah.
Or you let a swords go through, just so you can actually buy more time.
Yeah, I mean the clear and dry is going to start growing pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And he has, even if you remove the mage at this point, the dryad might just finish the job because Lanny already has at least 3 ways to interact. So yeah, Mark is still trying. Oh, he's two dreadnoughts. I don't think that really changes the calculus here. Like he's quickly losing time.
Yeah.
I think if he didn't have that boomerang in hand, he would have probably conceded a long time ago. But the boomerang kind of gives you hope that you can like somehow navigate your way around this meddling mage. But I don't know. I mean, if I'm looking at a gap player who has 7 cards in hand, a meddling mage, and a dryad, I'm not feeling very good.
Moves the discard
And
to
yeah,
discard dreadnought. All right.
what are you trying to find at this point? Like, is he just trying to find another hard counter?
That or a gush, because he's got counterspell. He has a foil, but he played the island last turn. But he can't like play dreadnought, protect, counterspell, and foil. So he might just want to look for. He wants definitely a gush, or I guess islands good also. Lanny
Yeah, and
playing. Oh, I would say he's playing the Coliseum. He'll play that in anything he can.
yeah, he loves that card. He loves it in Replenish. He loves it in Gat. And here it really shows the power of it. I mean, Lanny's hand looks like it's full of gas anyway, but if
Yeah.
it wasn't, he can easily recycle islands from Gush into 2 new cards. So he just, I feel like, has everything in his hand right now. And this is like one of the reasons why Lanny has always felt pretty good about Grow a Tog against Stifle Knot. You know, you just have so many ways to interact.
Yeah. It's really thinking about this opt. I'm just trying to think what that card would be. Oh, wait. It was a portent? Or powder keg. I think that's too late.
Oh, there's the
there's a
gush.
gush. Yeah.
Okay, so this has to be the turn, right? I can't imagine he has any more time than this.
Yep. So
More islands than the powder keg. Well, if the powder keg somehow resolved and made it to 2, life would be great, but
yeah,
I don't
that's
think we
the
have time for
problem.
that. So he's still got 2 blue floating. Okay, so maybe
He's
he is going to
playing
go for
keg.
powder keg. So he's at 8. It's a 2-turn clock right now if the Dryad doesn't grow. He's maybe thinking that he can like boomerang to save another turn and then Lanny recast it or something, and by then the powder keg's at 2. But Lanny wouldn't play it into a powder keg maybe, so maybe that's why he's thinking that it'll buy him enough time.
Yeah. The only issue though is like, what would he's got to use boomerang on the meddling mage or he can't do anything. And then like Keg's not going to get there, and then Lanny can maybe put him on boomerang because he's like hanging in there now. Well, maybe the Keg might make him a little confused,
man.
but Lanny
There
can
goes
like
another
use his
Keg.
swords on his own mage to pump the query on Dryad to get lethal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this Stifle Knot list has a lot of main deck artifacts. It'd be sweet if he's also running like misdirection main, because then you're like, I can naturalize this thing, but then
Yeah.
misdirect it to your own like furnace or something.
All right, goes to 4. Keg goes to 1. It's still not on 2 though.
Yeah, so he has to try for. I mean, he just doesn't have enough mana because like if he tries to end step boomerang, that's just gonna get countered, right? And then he can't protect
Yes.
it.
Oh, he has a foil, but
Okay.
it's
Well, let's
still
see.
just not. Yeah. Of course, you have to deploy the counter spell. Now you foil. Even if Lane doesn't have another counter spell, he can just use Coliseum, which is nice. Oh wait, I guess he can keep him off Coliseum, right? With the furnace.
It's taking out the AK. No, he drew an island. Okay, so the boomerang was countered,
Oh,
and now he just dies.
that's it, right?
Right?
Yeah, yeah. It's 5 damage coming
Yep.
through.
All right. So that was a pretty long game. It was ever since the mage slipped through. Okay, so Lanny basically had 2 swords and 2 counter spells. So he just, it was over like many turns ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh, I see a back to basics out of Stifle Knot.
Interesting.
Do you bring in back to basics?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, Gat's mana is pretty terrible.
It is. It is.
If,
Yeah.
if they get a Mox Diamond, then like your entire back to basic plan is pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Props to Lanny there. He played that really well, and yeah, like Phil, you mentioned, he's said before, Dreadnought is one of the best matchups for Gat.
Okay, so he's taking out, I saw a main deck Sabo's Web and, or actually, I don't know if that was main deck or his actual thing. I saw Sabo's Web and a Winter Orb. Winter Orb, of course, pretty terrible against Gush decks.
For sure. Oh wait, no, I don't think he's main deck Sabos. I don't know if he has actually the main deck. He looks like he mixed the sideboard and he's taking out the 15.
He's doing the pro technique of just mashing your 75 together and then removing the 15.
Yeah.
Which you do, of course, to hide how many cards you're bringing in. I do not do that. Tom, do you do that?
No. But I get it. But like I do some random bluffing here and there too. Like I'll fake the amount of cards I'm bringing in and pretend I'm moving things around and stuff like that. But yeah, I never got on board with the 15 cards in, take 15 out.
What if instead of that you just board in 10 cards every time, so it looks like you're bringing in a lot, and then you just like kind of take them out sneakily. So people are like really on edge.
That's yeah. I mean, you got to keep your opponent guessing. That's part of the game.
Okay, so in game 2, what does Stifle Knot have to help address this matchup? Anything?
The mono blue version is going to struggle because the deck plays meddling mage, and so the reason why mono blue was like really good coming in was because meddling mage is on a little bit of a decline. Um, but maybe Lanny just kind of next leveling here. You know what? I'm just going to bring it and deal with all the mono blue. Because I'm still, I mean, we don't have any info what's going on with the top tables, but I'm looking for red green oath, you know.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet.
Not yet. I mean, it's definitely a very powerful deck that a lot of people have been talking about for a long time. So maybe it's just one of those things where like people were scared of too many Sabo's webs, and so they're like, we're just gonna
True.
not play it. And it is an exceptionally expensive deck comparatively to the rest of Premodern. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
But it is LOBSTERCON though, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like you just want to like again, we were talking about the fun decks we wanted to bring. You also want to just have fun and play your deck.
Yeah, it's true. So mono blue Stifle Knot will sometimes have a brain freeze sideboard plan to get around stuff like too much removal on the Dreadnought. Do you play brain freeze here?
Maybe because again, mono blue. I'm trying to think how many boomerangs you might be running. You probably need like 3 in the 75 for meddling mage. But I mean, you have keg too, which is nice. But yeah, I think I might add in the brain freeze and kind of go with that angle. I don't think it is a problem. The only thing is like, is the clock fast with Query and Dryad?
Yeah, I mean, Grotok plays a lot of can play a lot of spells in one turn. So like, you know, they are definitely building up storm count that you can utilize.
Yeah.
Though I'm trying to think because like obviously Stifle or something like Gaia's Blessing is a good counter against brain freeze plans, which I don't think Gat runs, but you know, Lanny is a bad man when it comes to this deck, so who knows?
And this is, I think, like one of the best matchups for a Gat. Just everything that Grotog is doing is kind of like mono blue Stephanot specifically doesn't want to be dealing with like kind of a fast clock and tons of interaction.
They're the brain freezes. I think I
Yeah,
just
he's
saw
bringing
one
them
or
in.
two.
Yeah. And D's out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it looks like he boarded out
Yeah.
3.
3 Dreadnought.
Yeah, he took out Stifle. So yeah, he's going the brain freeze plan, which I think makes sense. Like Lanny has so much removal, and I mean Lanny knows this matchup, so I'm sure he's like anticipating brain freeze as well.
Yeah.
And so I would not be surprised if he didn't like board in all of his Dreadnought removal, but you always have to keep in a couple just to be honest, you know.
Yeah. Phil, are you waking up early to watch Euros?
These days I wake up pretty early just naturally.
Right.
Because you know, like we have young kids, and so I'll definitely check out a little bit of it, which is on the Check Premodern Twitch or YouTube tomorrow. I think it starts at like 4 a.m. Eastern, maybe.
Oh yes, I'm not sleeping. I'm finishing this, and then I'm right into Euros.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Duress Crew is also streaming on their Twitch, which is Duress Crew, and they're going to be streaming the day 2 side event of Premodern.
Oh,
okay,
nice!
So
I didn't know they were going to do that.
Oh yeah, so Lanny has a lot of swords in hand, 2 swords, at least. So he kept in a couple.
What's the white card that Lanny drew? Did you see
I
that one?
was just thinking about that. I'm not sure if I know. It's probably some hot tech that he's been keeping secret.
Possibly. Pietro says,
Okay, so
let's play Magic while Magic Online while waiting for Euros. Yeah, I'm down for that.
So Mark looks like he has a boomerang, powder keg. I think 2 counter spells, maybe a brain freeze. So he's in it for the long game.
Yes. All right, peek. See what's going on. How do you feel about peek, Phil?
I think it's a disenchant. So it might be the Mercadian disenchant. So 3 swords, a disenchant. Okay, so I feel like if you're Mark, you're kind of happy to see potentially 4 cards that are dead. I mean, the powder keg is definitely a target for the disenchant. So the 3 swords are potentially dead for Lanny. Though the double AK is definitely a good way to start reloading. But Lanny also doesn't have a clock, This is where Mono Blue Dreadnought, if you're going the brain freeze plan, wants to be, right? You just want to kind of make some land drops and just kind of wait until you can chain a whole bunch of gushes and vision charms into a brain freeze.
Fourth best disenchant art.
I like the Mercadian one. I know it's not for everyone, but I think it's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. It's like so bad, it's amazing. I think it's actually Adam Rex art.
I think so. And
yep.
I think BK and Michael Hoyt do a great disenchant imitation.
Yes.
So if you see them, ask them to do it for you.
We need that on a shirt.
Okay, so this Coliseum is pretty big here, actually, if he wants to get rid of some of those swords. He, of course, needs to get Threshold before he can do that, but...
Yep. And to turn flash for 1.
Yep.
Right.
So, what do you think? Is that an ivory tower? Yeah, it is.
Whoa!
Interesting.
Crazy. That's sick. I love
this.
Buy time where you can brain freeze them later.
Yeah, this Stifle Knot player is like settling in. I have not seen this out of a blue Dreadnought deck, but Mark is like packing like all the little artifacts.
No, it's amazing.
Because I mean, like Gat can put together a fast clock, but it definitely takes some time. Like Psychotog takes some time to get going. Meddling Mage is obviously 2 damage a turn, and then the Quirion Dryad, like again, also takes time. And so, the Ivory Tower here might buy you 2 to 3 turns, which is what you need.
Yep.
So,
because now the pressure's on Lanny to find a threat. I mean, so like also the Ivory Tower plan is interesting because Lanny's bringing more defensive interaction in, right? Like,
yeah. So, do you think he names Brain Freeze here?
If he does,
because like you're covered with the Dreadnought plan.
Yeah,
with 3
I think you have
swords.
Yeah, and he's gonna be forced to counter this because all right, makes sense. But he does have the battle. He still has powder keg in hand, right? So he was covered if this got countered or something.
Yeah, but Lanny still has the disenchant. I think because he knows Lanny has the disenchant, he's gonna see if Lanny will like loot it away with Coliseum before playing it, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the 4th swords. We'll see.
Lanny has Call the Herd's main, right? We just need to see any. I wonder if he like boards some of them out because I was even thinking if he boarded he like with all the interaction he's bringing in, he could even board out like a Quirion Dryad.
Yeah, I feel like Call the Herd is kind of needed in this matchup, or
because like you need a threat.
Yeah, that's the kind of nice thing about Ivory Tower here, right? Is that like sometimes people just played Meddling Mage against Dreadnought, and then they name Dreadnought, and then they just start beating for 2 while protecting the Meddling Mage. But this Ivory Tower basically makes it so that you don't make any progress. Like you need multiple things, so it's kind of interesting.
The only reason I was thinking Call is just bad is because is something you might board out and is because of it's just 3 mana. And again, you're bringing in so much. Like what are you Okay, yeah.
There's the disenchant for the.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
It's getting
Lenny,
phased.
Lenny needs to know what's up now, though. He's got to know that he's protecting this for a reason. Dreadnought's probably not in the deck.
I don't know. Okay, so like some people in chat also say that Call of the Herd is not good against Dreadnought. I'd be curious what other people think. Like, I mean, I guess if your deck is already packed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for our quarterfinals. Long day. I'm sure it is in the Discord, but we will read it off eventually. But up first in our first quarterfinal is going to be Javier Lugo on his green-white splashing on maybe a red Terragon, but the red might just be the Thornscape Apprentice. And Cameron Heiss. I am not sure what Cameron's on. Has anybody seen what he is on by chance, Lanny?
Let me check.
Yep, absolutely. And if you haven't noticed,
We just have to update the graphic on their decks, right?
yes, indeed. That is all we need. Mr. Lanny Huang is going to be here with us, along with Mano is going to be commentating with him. So I expect the banter to be top-notch.
Cameron's playing Replenish.
Replenish, all
so
right.
3 deuce versus Replenish. A little beatdown, a little Replenish. Typically, a deck full of just guys might get rocked by Replenish.
Well, we'll have to see, right? And a wild Michael Flores has entered the room.
Can I do covers? Would I like to sit here for the next 3 hours?
You can sit around in here, Mano. All right. So, as we can tell, the day has been long. The folks are jumping in. I'm gonna fix this. Deck name is Replenish. All right, guys. I'm gonna turn this over to cool people, Mano, and you guys can all work together and be cool.
You can try. It's really hard to hand these microphones to people, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, it's literally impossible.
It is.
No, it's Replenish versus 3 deuce, right?
Yeah. Is it 3 deuce actually?
Okay. Well, I heard Thornscape Apprentice.
Yes, Thornscape Apprentice is in play?
Yes.
Well, not yet.
But I think it's in like a Terrageddon shell. Like
okay.
It just has it.
So
there.
it's just like green white Terragon. Yeah, get out of the seat.
Will said I could sit.
No, you said you can hang around. He said you can barn. He didn't say that you can sit. We needed to mash the podcast hosts together, so we're bringing together. Some have called him the voice of reason on the All Things Considered podcast. The only consistent voice on the All Things Considered podcast, if you think about it. Mano on the microphone.
Yeah,
we've already got 1x I'm here for Manos. Can we get some I'm here for Manos in chat?
To be clear, who has called me the voice of reason ever?
No, it's like a gag because Hoyp started introducing me as the voice of reason on First Bike Colony, and I was just like, well, who's the voice of reason on
What do you mean
ATC?
Hoyp started? What does he have to do with any of this?
It's just he's just started saying it about me.
Oh, okay. You're the yeah. Compared to Mike Flores?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on your perspective. From Mike Flores' perspective,
I imagine most
he thinks
people
that I'm the chaotic voice.
Most people in a conversation with Mike Flores are in fact